Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. And in this update, we are going to check out Litecoin's price chart. And thank God that we got the move up that we talked about in the previous video. However, there are actually some nuance here relative to the previous update. But hey, I'm here to tell you first things first. I actually closed like a very small portion of my positions and I updated my stop loss to under this important low right in here about, let's say, $77. So my position is basically risk-free even if I hit my stop loss. Okay, it's very important to understand that. That's actually like the main reason for why I closed my position. Now, if you remember the last time that we talked about LTC, we were right around this area and I was like, well, okay, it seems like that we want to get a move on the upside in Litecoin. But before that, I said, look, in an ideal scenario, I really do not want to see Litecoin taking this important low right in here about $85. Why did I say that? Because you see, in the previous video, the idea was that hopefully, this is going to be like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into 1 correction for 2 and was 6. Good, move up into wave 3, 4, 5. And I was like, well, okay, if this count is happening, which as long as we are not taking again this important low, we can say it is in play. Our wave 3 is going to be quite a strong one on the upside, and we still can have some sort of a V-shaped recovery. Now, do not get me wrong, we still can have a V-shaped recovery. However, as you can see in the recent phase down in Litecoin, first we took the loss, but then we jumped right back up. So what's the difference now between the current structures that we are having and the previous one that we talked about before? You see, if you want to argue that we're going to have our final low around here, maybe this is like a very important support. Okay, fair enough. Off of the lowest low, then you have to be able to find a 5-wave up. This specific structure is called an impulse. Rules for it are, we should not have overlapping of the waves between wave 2 and 4, and in any kind of 5-wave or wave 3 should not be the smallest wave. And when it comes to the sub waves, you know the story, 5-wave up into wave 1, 3, and 5. And for wave 2 and 4, we can have different scenarios. Not really that important. Let's say, yeah, okay. Maybe ABC into wave 2 and like a WXY structure into our wave 4. Now, let's go on the live chart and see what is going on in like very, very short time. And maybe it's best to go on 15-minute time frame so we can see the candles a bit better. Okay, right out of the bat, I do not believe that we are having something like a 1-2 structure in here for two very important reasons. Number one, I think this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down. Reason number two, I think this is actually an ABC on the upside. So I'm gonna say most likely a correction in Litecoin started from this point, and this is going to be an ABC running flat. And I guess fair enough, this can be like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in form of I'm gonna say probably an expanding leading direct. Generally a 5-wave, the shape of it, it's not really that important, honestly. Now, I also believe that we are having, excuse me, in this phase, another 5-wave on the upside, and this can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to about here, followed by it's probably going to be some sort of a WXY structure. Bottom line is this, I think in Litecoin we are having on a higher degree a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which can be a good sign indicating the bottom is set. Now, if this is a good sign, then okay, why did I get out of like a portion of my positions right around the highs? Because question number one, what happens after a 5-wave on the upside? Even if you want to go according to the most bullish scenario, I think you know the answer. We are going to have one way or the other a move on the downside. So this was one very important reason for why I got out of like a small portion of my positions. Reason number two, even though we are having a 5-wave up in here, this doesn't really guarantee that the bottom is set. Like, do not get me wrong. If you want to go up in Litecoin, this is literally the way to do it, but it doesn't really guarantee anything because simple reason, in any market, there is no certainty, okay? We are only and only talking about possibilities. So based on possibilities, you can say, yeah, okay, in LTC, we are looking good. But at the same time, in the interest of being objective, you have to also be able to find a bearish count as well. And that one suggests that we are having in LTC something like ABC up into A, ABC down into B, and a 5-wave on the upside into C. Essentially, this is like an ABC flat structure, and maybe maybe in Litecoin, we are going to continue our move down in order to take the loss, and I'm going to get my stop loss hit, which again, no problem at all. My position is right now completely risk-free. Now, question, which scenario is going to happen? I think I should actually consider the bullish scenario in Litecoin as my primary case, but having said that, I think at the same time, you need to pay full attention to what is happening in the current move down in Litecoin that we are having. Point number one, in my view, this move on the downside, if hopefully we are bullish, is actually going to take some time. So give it maybe like 5 to 7, 8 days to play out. Why is that? Because you see, according to the bullish scenario, this is going to be 5 up into 1 correction for wave 2, and then like a good move up into wave 3, 4, 5. And this suggests, well, the current move down is a correction as structure. And what is one very important characteristic of a correction? You know the answer, being a slow and choppy, and it's going to take quite some time. Right now, in my view, this isn't actually enough. And in an ideal scenario, I want to argue that we are having maybe like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down, either to about the lows or maybe like a bit lower, doesn't really matter. And then I want to see correction up, maybe ABC, maybe WXY, maybe even like a WXYZ. Again, not that important. And then like another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in order for me to be able to say, yeah, okay, this is an ABC zigzag into our wave 2. And by the way, wave 2 is usually a rather deep move on the downside. So in terms of Fibonacci's, let's just put the Fibonacci retracement, there we go. It's actually quite typical for us to reach to about either the 61.8 to even 78% level, which in Litecoin is all the way down here about $87 region. So again, please, for now, even according to the most bullish case in LTC, you should just expect some more chopping around and not a whole lot of necessarily upward price action. If you get it, awesome, but that shouldn't really be your base case. Right now, count on a correction and structure to happen in here, which is going to take some time. And unfortunately, it is going to be really annoying. But hey, this is the market. You should just suck it up and go with the flow. Now, let's just go on maybe weekly time frame, check out some indicators, and then we are going to wrap up today's video. So as you can see in MACD, unfortunately, we are still having this signal, which is not really ideal, but in a stock RSI, now great sign, we are having a confirmed buy signal, and the fact that this actually happened right around the oversold area to me suggests that yes, hopefully bears are running out of steam and soon bulls are going to take charge and send the price up, and Elios waves in the short term also supports that thesis. So in terms of indicators in weekly time frame, we are starting to have some more optimistic signs, but we are not fully there yet. If you do not care about the short-term price action, I would like to suggest just be a bit more patient and wait and see in both of these indicators buy signals at the same time. That could be like your really strong bullish confirmation. Now, in daily time frame, okay, in a stock RSI, as you can see, we recently got a sell signal, but in MACD, the opposite, we recently got a buy signal. So what's the deal here? I'm gonna give actually the advantage to this sell signal in a stock RSI, suggesting, yeah, maybe for now, let's say again for the next 5 to 7 days, we are going to consolidate a little bit, and then if I see the right structures, and by that I'm really hoping that I'm going to be able to identify an ABC zigzag in here, followed by a rather good bounce in form of a 5-wave. At that point in LTC, I am going to be more bullish. The point that I'm trying to make is this. Right now, for the next couple of days, maybe even a week or two in LTC, you should expect some sort of a consolidation pattern, and it's not really going to be that much of a big deal. And also point number 2, again, we also said this at the beginning of the video. If you want to go up in Litecoin and build a bullish setup, well, this is literally the way to do it. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in LTC. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time with your family and loved ones. Goodbye.